You know, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time. So seeing it's been so long, we might as well do this right, shall we? Right? Yeah? Hold on one second. Just gotta clear the throat, okay? Hey! Yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. It's been way too long. I get it. It's been probably the longest I've ever gone without doing a video. And there's multiple reasons for that. So I wanted to say up front, I'm going to talk to you guys why I've been gone, right? I'm going to go into a little detail about that. And I'm also going to take an opportunity in this video to go in depth about stuff that's happened since I've left. Since I've been on hiatus, sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to talk about stuff in the movies, talk about things in the comic book world. I'm going to talk about my poll list. I'm going to talk about things that's been going on in my life, and just various stuff in general. And I'm also going to talk about the two cons that have gone down since I've been gone. So yes, I have to apologize. Like, I know this happens every once in a while, right? I go missing for a bit. It's happened like 2 times before, right? Once right after I got married and once after I moved into the house. Usually I get back and I try to get consistent with videos again, but recently there's I haven't put up any videos. And I mean that's on me, right? I've been trying to get back into videos for a while, and there's been 2 major things that have helped kept me from putting up videos, and really it's a bunch of small things. Well, no, some of them aren't small, but a bunch of things together, as well as one big thing that's kept me from putting up any videos. So might as well get into it, shall we? So I guess I'll start with the one big thing, right? This is going to sound silly. You guys are going to be like, really? 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 But one thing is that I'm very low tech, right? You guys got to understand, I'm old as fuck, right? I'm not one of those young whippersnappers that can do editing and have their devices up and put things on YouTube like crazy. Like, listen, I don't do this because I'm good at it. I just talk a lot, right? So I'm kind of old, and nothing against anyone that does. Like, I mean, please, people make careers off of YouTube. I just do it therapeutically for me to kind of, talk and also to connect with you guys. So one of the reasons why I haven't been able to get on is because I use my wife's laptop, because I have the webcam, and the webcam is not compatible with my laptop, so I can't use my laptop, which is fine. My laptop's shit, so I mean, let's not use that. But my wife's laptop went missing for a while, so this is more towards the tail end of me not doing things. I have all this stuff, the reasons why I haven't been on, but my wife's laptop being gone, I think that's the biggest reason I haven't been on, because I don't have a laptop. At least for the past few months, right? I've been really trying to get back into it because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on stuff that's going on, but again, no laptop, I can't do it. But there's been a couple other things, right? There's been a lot of personal stuff, right? Some big things happen in my life which really has complicated things, right? Some good, some bad, some just as is. Like, so there was a personal event that happened in my life which has since passed, and everything's good on it, and that nothing, like, how can I say this without, I'm not going to get into it, but some personal stuff have gone on, of which some of that personal stuff that has gone on also were deaths in the family, right? So there was a lot of personal stuff that I had to deal with. The 2 deaths, I'll talk about the deaths. The 2 deaths that I've had in my family, for lack of a better term, is my aunt passed away. So my aunt was not well, right? This is actually my aunt's house, right? I've been kind of holding it down while she was not well, and she kind of took a turn for the worse. Like, it's tough because she had a rough life, right? After my uncle passed away, they were like 2 peas in a pod, right? My uncle, though, he was a weightlifter back in the day, but he got sick, lost his sight, kidneys failed, passed away, right? Ever since he passed away, she started to decline a bit. So unfortunately, she passed away too. So, I mean, that was tough. And then, as you guys all know, right, I take karate. It's the thing that I identify as the most important thing to me. I mean, outside of family and my wife and my kid, like, please, of course, those things come first. But as a person, what I identify as me, even more so than this shit, even more so than Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, is being a martial artist. So, as you know, I'm a 5th degree black belt in Kempo Karate, as well as I cross-trained with several other different martial arts. And my teacher, my sensei, my master, professor, Hachidan, whatever you want to go by, I just call it master. He passed away, had a sudden heart attack a couple months ago, and I mean, I'm still not, I mean, my aunt I was kind of prepared for, because you never prepare for death, but I kind of was, because we saw the slow decline, so I kind of saw it coming, so I braced myself a bit. But my teacher, Robert Nolte, he passed away, and it's rough. Big influence in my life, big mentor figure. Like, in my life, right, the most important thing to me is honor, respect, truth. Like, whether you're a good person or a bad person, hopefully you're a good person, right? I'm not advocating bad stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're an honorable person, like, you can be a good person and not be an honorable person. Like, you can be a good person, you lie every once in a while, or you cheat or whatever, or steal or whatever, right? But you can also be a bad person and not lie, cheat, or steal, right? Honor is something that's intangible. It's one of those things that, you know, can never be earned, but can always be lost, right? And he was one of the most honorable men in my life. So definitely a confidant, a mentor, a teacher, and, you know, everything. So losing him has been like, it's like a phantom limb, right? It's like I still feel him every day. Like, it sounds silly, it sounds cheesy, but I do. Every time I put that belt on and I tie it, I feel him. So it's tough, right? He's the greatest teacher I ever had, and with the way our style is we have, you know, 2 8th degrees, right? Or two masters. They technically could be 10th. They've been offered the ability to, but they didn't care. Like, rank doesn't matter to them. They care about the teaching of it. So the fact is that he and Master Bryant, who is, you know, basically his friend and started the system with him, their Kempo is their Kempo, but they're so different in their styles that, like, when he passed away, like, I'm one of the few people left that he's taught in the high ranks who has his style of karate, has his personal thumbprint. It's almost like, in a way, that me, as well as all of his students, is a living legacy. So, had to deal with that. Had to deal with those losses, as among other personal things. And then work has been, I've been pushing really hard to get promoted at work, and I've made a lot of headway, but you know, there's a lot of more responsibility that I've had to do. I haven't got promoted yet. I'm still working on it, but there's been a lot of work that's had to be done. And you know, with my son getting older, I've been trying to put more and more focus on my son, my family, my wife, and especially the good news, right? My wife is pregnant, so we're expecting our second child, which is awesome. The 20th of this month is when we find out the gender of the baby. So, I mean, boys hoping for a girl, right? I would like one of each. I'll say the same thing every parent says. I'll be happy with whatever I get as long as they're healthy and healthy. That's all that matters. But I really do want a girl, right? I want to be a little softy at heart. So I've had a lot of that stuff, as well as a bunch of other small things. Since I've been gone, I mean, comic books and all that stuff, I've been still going at it. I've been a huge Dragon Ball fix. I've been watching Dragon Ball Super like crazy. My boy Vegeta, oh, bro, Vegeta's been the man. But I can talk about Dragon Ball Super later. If you guys want me to do a video just talking about Dragon Ball, oh my god, I could definitely do it. And more importantly, I've been trying to get myself back into shape, right? Like, you can't see it that much because of the way they angled. I've been trying to eat healthier, right? Less junk food. I've been trying to do small things. Like, I've been starting to run again. I've been trying to go to the gym regularly. I mean, I've been trying to get the muscle back, and I've been trying to lose the gut. The gut's the big thing. So I've been trying to get a little bit healthier with things. So yeah. So like let's get caught up, right? Let's get a little caught up in the geek stuff and the comic book world, among other things. I want to talk a bit about movies because we've had a couple movies come out, right? I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't seen all of them. So I'm going to give you my brief opinion on these movies. But before we get into the movies, let's talk about, again, I don't want to talk about too much sad stuff, but I think we should talk about him, right? Since I've been gone, we've had a passing in our geek family. One of the biggest passings yet. Unfortunately, and this is months out, right? But I haven't had a chance to talk about it. Unfortunately, we've had the late great Adam West pass away, the '66 Batman, and really sad because Adam West, class fucking act, man, class act, dude. See, everyone has their Batman, right? The person that defines them. And listen, I'm not going to get into it. Adam West is not my Batman. He's not the one that brought me in. Like, Kevin Conroy did that. Michael Keaton to a point, right? But Kevin Conroy was my Batman outside of the comics, right? He's the one that absorbed me into Batman. But, like, the things that Adam West did for Batman, astronomical. Like, it was a difference maker in the comic book world. And it kept the comic book world going and evolving and changing, because like a lot of people don't like the 60s shit, the Silver Age, because it's campiness, but it's part of comics, right? And he was the king of it. Like, and he was a class act through and through. And I had the pleasure and the honor to meet him. I'm going to talk about it because I know I talked about it before, but seeing that we're talking about him, I'll talk about it now. I got to meet Adam West about 2 years ago. Right? And I had him sign my Batman 66 issue #1, which I have right down there. I'm going to talk about signatures later, but and when I went to him, like, the thing that just kind of baffled me and what's awesome about him is when I went up to him, and I was caught off guard by him, I went up and I passed him the thing, and he shook my hand. And he asked me my name, and he asked me questions about me. He asked, "What do you do? Where do you live?" and all that. And I was thrown off. So when he asked, "What do you do?" I didn't go, "Oh, X, Y, and Z." I went, "I watch you. You're Batman." I was thrown off. It was kind of embarrassing, but he took a general interest in me. He didn't talk about his career. He didn't talk about him. He wanted to talk about me. I'm sure he did it with everyone, but the fact that he put that much interest and love in a fan, right, that he knows nothing about, showed that he was a class act to me. Not everyone has to do it. I'm not saying to every celebrity out there, you know, the -2 that watch my videos, go out there and say exactly that stuff, but like, it just showed you the kind of man he was, right? And I guess it's even more deeper for me because I listened to all the Kevin Smith stuff, Smodcast, Jan Saw Bob Get Old, Fat Man on Batman, of course, Hollywood Babylon, and Education. Listen to all of it. And at Hollywood Babylon, Ralph Garman, a huge fan of Adam West. So, like, he got into it, and the guy was just amazing. So, a couple of seconds of silence for the great 1966 Batman. He never had to go and say he was Batman. This is a quote he always says. I just showed up in the room, and people knew I was Batman. He just showed up, and people knew he was Batman. So, a few seconds of silence, right? So, with that out of the way, and with saying that, and thank you again, Adam West, for everything you've done, let's talk about some movies, right? It's been a while. I haven't even talked about Wonder Woman. I haven't talked about Justice League. I haven't talked about The Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming. Screwed that up. I haven't talked about a lot of things, so I'm going to just hit some of the stuff recent or most well-to-do in my mind. I guess the first one is Wonder Woman. Like, listen, you guys know how important Wonder Woman is to me, right? Wonder Woman's my second favorite superhero. Look at her. She gets 3 rows, dude. 3 fucking rows. I love Wonder Woman to death. So her movie is something I was looking forward to so much. And long story short, I thought the movie was a very safe movie, right? It didn't take too many risks. But in saying that, I'm cool with it because everything about that movie was awesome. From the characters, to the story, to the humor, to the action, to the moments. It was such a powerful movie. Yeah, I kind of fell a bit about at the end. I liked the fact that she fought Ares, and like, dude, straight up, motherfucking Ares from the comic books, right? Not any pussy ass Ares just wearing a suit, coat, and tie. No, this was full armor, ready, shit, about to go. I thought that the ending was a little... It could have been better. But the scenes, like when she gets up there in that no man's land scene, bruh, it was amazing. Wonder Woman is one of my favorite comic book movies. Not just because it's Wonder Woman, but it was done right. So I'm really looking forward to how things go with it go forward. Spider-Man Homecoming was the most recent film I watched. I ordered it on demand. And not to go too much into my thing about Spider-Man, but like Spider-Man's always kind of I really like him, and then I'm kind of disappointed with him character, right? There's so much about Spider-Man I like, but there's so many things I'm disappointed about. I'm not going to go into detail about all of it, but one thing I do like is the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 2, without a doubt, is one of the best comic book films. The moments alone in that film, the pacing, the story, everything, right? My favorite moment is when his mask is off and he turns around and Mary Jane sees... It sounds like a stupid moment, but Mary Jane sees him and like it all clicks to her. It's like, oh, that's why he was such a dick, because he's Spider-Man. Oh my god, now I feel bad for acting that way. Or like when he saves the train, like everyone knows the train scene. Spider-Man 2 was such a solid film. So for me, Spider-Man, the bar is kind of high. Amazing Spider-Man, I thought the pieces... not Amazing Spider-Man, I keep on saying that. Spider-Man Homecoming, I think the pieces and concepts were so good. Like, I love the characters. Tom Holland does a really good job as Spider-Man. I thought Michael Keaton's Vulture was bomb.com. And I thought overall the concept was pretty good, but the story was kind of... I don't know. So... I don't want to say simple, but like predictable. Similar to Wonder Woman, but I think more so with Spider-Man, and nothing really new thrown into the mix. So, but did have a lot of good scenes, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I would say, if I had to rank the Spider-Man films, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Homecoming, Amazing 1, Amazing 2, Spider-Man 3. I think that's pretty good. And then Justice League. I think this is the biggest... Justice League, right? Justice League was a good film. Was it a great film? No. I think Justice League had a lot of good moments in it. And I think it had a lot of... The characters were all good. Like, I love The Flash. I love Cyborg. I loved Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman. All of them were good. And there was all good moments, dude. Bro... The scene, my favorite scene is when Superman's, and I love the fact Superman fucks up the Justice League. Love that he throws Aquaman's Cyborg around. Wonder Woman goes to hit him with the bracers, and he blocks her and headbutts her. And like she tries to use the lasso, but he's strong enough that he pulls her away. Or like he beats out Batman. You know how much I love Batman, but like at the end of the day, Superman is Superman. Like he is supposed to be it. The most powerful of them all. But my favorite scene is Flash. So like Flash doesn't know what's coming, but Superman's holding them all down, right? And Flash is going slow motion, right? And Superman's holding, and then you see his eye turn, and then he starts, like, tracking Flash. And the look on Flash's face, he goes, oh, no! It was great. And, bro, my boy Deathstroke at the end. Oh! Best after credit scene. But the problem with Justice League is... Steppenwolf is like whatever, and the final fight scene was a bit left out. There were some good, funny moments in there, especially with Superman carrying the fucking building. But I think the final fight scene was a letdown. Because, and it makes sense, like Superman shows up, he just kicks the shit out of Steppenwolf, but like, I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a struggle with him. Like, the Justice League at the end all had to come together and hit him all at once, and the fact he just like gets the parademons take him off, cop out. It probably doesn't help that it was basically done by two filmmakers. But that's neither here nor there. I don't hate Justice League. It's not anywhere near the top of my favorite comic book films, but I think a lot of people are giving it hate, and I can't. Like, it was a good film. And I think as a jumping point for the DCEU, which is kind of in flux, it's a good jumping point. Like, I want to see Ezra Miller's Flash. I want to see Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I want to see Wonder Woman 2 with Cheetah. Ching! Like, I want to see these things. Yo, Man of Steel needs to get a sequel. And Matt Reeves' Batman, whenever that comes out in like 2050, like, I'm looking forward to that too. Like, the stuff has to happen. Actually, the next big film should just be a Legion of Doom only film. Oh my god. Face, neck, and chest. All day, every day, right? That shit would be awesome. As well as some other films, like, I don't know if I talked about it. Let's see. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on a plane, right? Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was a lot better. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had one of the best moments when Yondu died. And he basically, spoilers, for a movie that was been out for months. And basically he said to Star-Lord, he says, that man may have been your father, but he ain't your daddy. Right? And that is a powerful fucking message. Not to me, like, shit, my father's still in my life. My father and my mother are still together. My father has always been in my life. But for people that, I mean, your father, your daddy, it may not necessarily be your birth father. It may be that person that takes you in and shows you what it means to be a man, or shows you what it means to be a woman, or whatever. Like, you don't know who your daddy and father is, but, like, that was a powerful moment. So, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was a lot better than 2. I think since... yeah, I think that's it. I haven't seen Thor yet. So I need the Thor Ragnarok, and I haven't seen Black Panther yet. Although I plan to see Black Panther soon. I hear it's pretty good. I hear all the characters are good and the world is good. I hear Black Panther himself is kind of okay, but like the villain, Killmonger, and all that, I heard is good. So we'll get to Black Panther when I get a chance, and we'll get to Thor Ragnarok when I get a chance. I saw Star Wars. Last Jedi, I have to say, I was so disappointed in. And listen, if you liked it, right, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, right? More power to you. It ended Star Wars for me. It's when I realized that this thing I love, I'm no longer part of. It's not for me anymore, right? It's not... The biggest problem is the stuff with Luke Skywalker, right? And my biggest problem is, right, he's about to go... Kylo Ren, young Kylo Ren, 14 years old, whatever. And he goes to his house, his hut. Yeah, he had like a hut. He goes to his hut, and he starts like reaching into his mind. And he determines this kid is about to be the next Hitler, right? Next Darth Vader. And he goes to hit his lightsaber up. He's like, I can just end this fucker now and save the galaxy a lot of trouble. But here's the problem, right? This is what kills me, right? This is why it's not Luke Skywalker to me. Everything else I can kind of deal with, but this is why it's not Luke Skywalker to me, right? Luke Skywalker, hero of the Republic, right? Jedi Master, is about to kill a child for a crime or crimes or deeds he never committed. That bothers me. The tone bothered me. I hated when Luke just threw the lightsaber behind him. Like, it took away from the moment. Why did Poe get kept out in the dark about their plan for Hope when fucking you could have saved yourself immunity on that? Like, it was not my thing. Leia flying through the space with the Force, like, come on. There's a few moments I did like. The Rey Kylo Ren stuff, right? That stuff was solid, right? Them interacting with each other was so good. And especially how they reacted to it, where Rey's like, you asshole, you killed your dad, why did you kill him? He's just standing there, it's like, I can see you, can you see me? Can you see the background? Like, can you see this guy right here? Like, Kylo's being very, technical about it, very detached, and she's like, you asshole! And then they're about to touch and shit. That was a cool scene. And then my favorite is like when she thinks she's turned back to the good side, and they kill everything, and then she's just like, Kyle, let's go save the Alliance or the Resistance or whatever they call themselves at. And he goes, no, let's destroy them. And she's like, what? It's like, let's kill everything. Let's scrap it. Like, screw the First Order, screw the Resistance. Let's start anew. You and me, we rule the galaxy together. We'll bring peace. And then Daisy Ridley does a really good scene, and she just goes, oh, Ben, don't. Please don't say that. That was a fucking solid scene because it's like everything she believed in collapsed. It's just like old man Luke Skywalker told her exactly what's going to happen, and she doesn't listen to him. So, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Last Jedi at all. Let's talk. We'll talk a bit about comics, right? But let's talk a bit about. Let's do the con, right? I went to 2 cons since we last talked, right? I went to Boston Comic Con and I went to New York Comic Con. Boston Comic Con I went to before I went to Greece, right? I got to meet a lot of cool people there. And then my boy Sammy, shout out to Sammy if you're watching this, I went to New York with him. First time with New York. And like, the reason why I initially went to New York Comic Con, I'll talk about New York more than Boston because I go to Boston every year. It is what it is. Great Comic Con, solid Comic Con. But other than, I mean, there's a bunch of people I met that I'm happy I met, but New York where it was at. So listen to this, right? New York I'm going to because I have those SH figure art, Power Ranger figures. And I have a signature from every original Ranger, of course, with the exception of Twee, because R.I.P. God bless her. She passed away. But I have Karen Ashley. So the only one I was missing was David Yost, Blue Ranger. So I found he was going to Boston. I'm like, you know what? I have a few days saved up. I should take a long weekend before I go to Greece, and I should go do the con, right? I take off Friday, go there. So leave Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday, right? So I had it all planned, right? I go meet my boy Sammy, and we go into the con. First time with Boston Comic Con. And I had no inkling at all about who I was going to see, right? There was no big names for the comic book people. And then they pull up Jeff Johns, right? I'm like, you know what? Jeff Johns, I need to get some signatures from him. Because for me, I want to complete my collection of the New 52 Justice League comic signatures. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and Justice League, right? Those comics I want to get signed by the artists and by the writers. So I'm like, well, Jeff Johns is hard to get. He wrote Justice League and he wrote Green Lantern and Aquaman for the issue #1, so I gotta get him. And I said, well, wouldn't it be cool? Like, my boy Sammy keep on telling me, like, yo, Jim Lee might be there. And as you guys know, Jim Lee's my favorite comic book artist. I mean, fucking every single figure, well, with the exception of the Darwin Cook one, because that one's just awesome. Every single figure in the center is in some way related to Jim Lee. Jim Lee, New 52 Batman, Jim Lee Hush, right? This is the movie section, you can't see it, right? But, they have the Batman v Superman, which is heavily inspired by Dark Knight Returns and Jim Lee stuff. You have the Justice League War figure. Like, all these things are lined up to Jim Lee's art in some way, shape, or form. In some connection, right? Because I love the guy so much. And I'm like, he's not going to be there, right? He's not going to be there, right? So, the night beforehand on his Twitter, night before I go down, he said, yeah, yo, I'm going to be at New York. I'm like, oh my God. All that matters is that I see Jim Lee, because I want to get Jim Lee's signature on so many things. But most importantly, I want to get his signature on Batman New 52 issue #2 variant that he did, which is one of my favorite drawings of Batman of all time. I'll show it to you once I pull it up. And I mean, if Jeff Johns is going to get that, I need to get him to sign Justice League issue #1. Oh my God, broski. Can't tell you how important it was. So, long story short, we get there, and the way they do things is they do wristbands. So my boy, me, and his cousin go there. We get the wristbands for Jim Lee. We get the wristbands for Jeff Johns. And broski. I'm saying bro a lot. But broski. Grant Morrison is there too. I didn't even know it. It was a surprise. So I got a wristband for Grant Morrison, but I didn't bring anything for Grant, so I had to go buy something. I'll show you what I bought for him, so I get his signature. So I got to meet Jim Lee, right? I got to meet a lot of people, right? Marguerite Bennett, Orlando. I got to meet Jim Lee, Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, a ton of people. So I got to meet Jim Lee first, and like there's no tomorrow, and I got stuff signed by him. So let's take a look, right? So I got to meet Jim Lee, and I didn't say too much about him other than and we were first in line for Jim Lee. First. And you're limited to 3 copies of something per person. So I'm like, oh shit, then I need to do Batman issue 2, Justice League, and then I forget what the other one I was justifying getting. But my boy Sammy's cousin had the wristband too, but she had nothing by Jim Lee, so she just got a couple things signed for me. So it all kind of worked out. So I said the same stuff. I'm like, yo, dude, you're my favorite artist. I love you. Like, I got to meet you years ago. I'm glad I got to meet you again. Just want to let you know, New 52 Batman costume is my favorite costume. I'm sad it went away. And then he said, like, yo, don't worry. It's still here. And he, like, pointed to the side. I'm like, oh, bros. So anyways, first thing, and you got to understand, this is only when issue 2 of Metal was out. So I got DC Metal, issue number 2, signed by him. The variant cover, which just looked awesome. I was debating that or issue number 1, but I got that. So when I see Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo again, I will. Oh, I came out of frame. I will have them kind of do the remaining signatures. I need a place to put these comics. That works. So yeah, DC Metals signed by him. That was kind of like a side thing that I was like, if I get assigned, I get assigned. Superman Unchained. So I got the signatures from Jim Lee and Scott Snyder. So this is complete issue number 1. I love this picture of Superman. One of my favorite with him ripping the wreckage. Got that signed. That was a must-have for him. I brought Suicide Squad issue number 1, right? Got this signed by him, right? And then I want to get also a Fadbach. I want to get on this. So there's so many people I need to get signed by this. But without a doubt, Jim Lee got that signed. Batman issue number 608. This is the start of the Hush storyline. This is, and I'm sorry for the reflection, but this is one of my favorite pictures of Batman. Jim Lee did. It's kind of, you can tell it's earlier, so it's not quite the best of his art in terms of detail, but it's just an awesome pick. And I mean, Hush is pound for pound one of, if not my favorite Batman storyline, up there with Nightfall. So this is Batman issue number 2, New 52. This is my favorite drawing he's done of Batman. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I just got an erection in my pants from Jim Lee's art. Amazing. Signed by Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, the artist and writer, and also the cover art by Jim Lee. This is probably one of my favorite signatures I've got on a comic. I love this. This is one of the 2 must-haves, right? If anything, this and the next one are the 2 must-haves, because Jim Lee is so hard to get. At least for me, because he doesn't come to Boston anymore. Although I found out that he's going to be going this year, so my wife is due in August. So if I'm able to go, bro, I'm going to get more stuff. The last thing I got signed by him was Justice League issue number 1, which his signature is right on Superman's chest, right? I got Jeff Johns' signature down here, so I might as well talk about Jeff Johns, right? Got to meet Jeff Johns. Couldn't play the same trick I wanted to and get more stuff signed by Jeff Johns. I only got 3 things signed by him. 3 things is all that fucking mattered. I got to meet Jeff, and I said to him basically like, yeah, bro, thank you for everything you've done. Like I know some people are up in the air about Jeff, but I love Jeff. I think Jeff does really good work and does right by DC. And I said to him like, yo, I need to ask you continuity questions, right? Is that okay? And he said, yeah, definitely. And I said, listen, first of all, because this has always been bugging me, right? Since Rebirth, what is canon, what's not. And it sounds silly, but I asked him, like, dude, is Origins still the New 52, is the New 52 Justice League Origins still the origin of the Justice League? He's, yeah, 100%, we're not changing it at all. Like, that's the origin. I'm like, so you're not pulling back Martian Manhunter as a founding member, you keep me Cyborg? He's like, yeah. And I said, so all the New 52 costumes and everything are still considered canon, right? And he's like, yep, absolutely. And I said, okay. And the second question I had for him, long story short, man, is Hal coming back on the Justice League anytime soon? And then he kind of gave me a half answer. He's like, yeah, well, Hal's on the Justice League. And I think he's referring to Metal, because Hal's always on the Justice League for like the big events. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, you got Cruz and Baz. And he's like, well, Hal will eventually go back to the Justice League. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I got that signed to him. So his signature's right off Cyborg, right? So if I get Scott Williams at any time, I'm going to have him sign all my Jim Lee stuff. And this would be one of them. But this was the other must-have, right? Those 2 things were must-have, because I'm not going to lie. I'm probably never going to meet Jeff Johns again. It's going to be tough. So I got him to sign Green Lantern, issue number 1. Aquaman, issue number 1. So the only thing I'm missing from the writer is the writer from Aquaman and the artist from Green Lantern, and then I'm missing everything for the Flash, right? So, and then Grant Morrison, got to meet Grant Morrison, so I bought Batman Incorporated issue number 8, the RIP issue, had him sign there. Didn't get to say much, but I said to him, like, hey, dude, I love your stuff, and I just want to let you know that your writing has inspired so many of my D&D campaigns, my Dungeons & Dragons campaigns. He's like, oh, I'm glad I inspired your D&D campaigns, so it was pretty awesome meeting him. So back at Boston, so I'm going to skip back around. At Boston, I got to meet Tim Seeley, who did Nightwing. So I got the Rebirth cover signed, which is a great cover. He's the writer of Nightwing, and he was a really cool cat. This was way back at a year ago almost. So he gave me a couple of sneak previews of what was going to happen, and then it came to pass. And then he signed issue number 1. So he was pretty cool to meet. Tom King, right? Let's talk about it. Tom King I got to meet, and I'm going to preface this by I got to meet David Finch also. Tom King, I went up to him, and I said to him, like, listen, I love everything you're doing with Batman. This is before the proposal got answered. We're going to talk about Batman getting married in a bit. I said to him, like, dude, I love what you're doing with Batman. I love the fact that Catwoman Batman, that he proposed her. Whether it's answer yes or no, I want to let you know as a father and as a husband, it's important to me. I want to let you know that you doing this is big. Like, it's awesome. And he said, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're happy. So I got Rebirth number 1 signed by him. I got Rebirth. I got issue number 1 signed by him and by David Finch. And David Finch was pretty cool to hang out with and talk to. I didn't get to talk to him too much because his line was long. And then I got issue number 24 signed by them both, which is where he actually poses to Catwoman. So we'll talk about Batman and Catwoman a little bit, in just a little bit. I also got to meet Meredith Finch. So I had David Finch and Meredith sign Wonder Woman issue number 36. And I kind of just talked to her and I said, hey, listen, I thought you had a really good voice. Wonder Woman felt like a woman's voice. So she was very happy that I kind of comment on her on that. And I got Finch to sign issue number 1 of Batman Dark Knight. David Finch signed that, so that's pretty cool. Tony Daniels was there. I got to meet him so those two were Boston, right? At New York, I got to meet Tony Daniels again. I got and he's always a stand-up class act, so I'm glad I got to meet him. And we talked a bit more, and I always bring up that one panel from Batman Life and Death where fucking Selina's hat is going against Dick's head. Really good. I got him to sign the Rebirth cover, which he did, right? I had him sign issue number 1 of the Justice League for Rebirth. So I have technically both Justice Leagues, issue number 1, New 52, and Rebirth signed by the individuals. So that was pretty cool. I had Peter Tameshi was at Boston, so really cool guy. And again, similar to Tom King, I kind of said to him, like, listen, you writing father and son, whether it's Batman and Damian or Superman and John, like, as a father, that's important to me. These stories need to be told, and you're telling them, and I appreciate it. So, obviously, the Rebirth one-shot, Adam signed. I had him sign issue number 1 of Superman. Alright, pretty cool. I had to have him sign Batman and Robin, issue number 1. Batman and Robin Requiem, this is issue number 18, was it? 18. This is the issue where Batman breaks down and cries. It's a silent issue, I think it is. This is a big issue, right? And then Steve Orlando was there, so I got to meet up with him. And I got Apollo Midnighter number 1 because it's fucking Midnighter and he's the man. And this was such a good series too. I got Justice League of America Rebirth 1. I got Justice League of America issue number 1, right? He was a cool cat. And then I finally got this variant cover of Supergirl that he had on the stand. I picked up and I had a signature for him there, which is a really cool picture. So I love Supergirl, so I like I like that cover. And then Williamson, the writer for... We're getting to the end, don't worry. Williamson, the writer of Flash, was at Boston, so I got to meet him. Got the Rebirth #1 and got the issue #1 signed by him. So that was pretty cool. And then lastly is Marguerite Bennett was there, and I got to talk to her for a bit. She was really cool to talk to. I asked some continuity questions, mostly about Flamebird and about Batwoman's sister and stuff. So she did the #1. She did the issue #1. So the one shot and the issue #1, which was a really good cover. And then finally I had her do Bombshells United. So some pretty good stuff. So yeah, on a whole, really good showing at the con. Let me just flip these around. But really good showing at cons. Probably two of the best cons I've had. New York Comic Con I was so satisfied with. I'm debating on whether or not to go next year. Well, technically this year, right? Because to get in is so tough, and money, kid on the way. We'll see, but I would like to. It was a really fun time. As for comics, as you guys know, I'm reading everything DC. Everything has been great, but let's talk about it, dude. Let's talk about Batman and Wonder Woman's marriage, or their engagement. As you guys know, and I've made it no secret, I've always wanted Batman to get married, right? I know it sounds silly, but the concept of Batman being alone and miserable later in life bothered me. And maybe it's because I believe in the, marriage as a whole, and I'm married, and I want my favorite character in all fictional media, I want Batman to be married too. Well, you can't see it, but I got my Catwoman's right there. I'll just lean it over. Oh, my Catwoman's right there. Dude, the proposal, War Joke of the Realtors, I'll talk about later, but the proposal and everything going forward has been so good, and it's just the reason why Batman should be getting married. It works. The two characters work together, right? And he's been an eligible bachelor for 75 years. Why not, right? It's just been so amazing. So I hope they follow through with it. I know they have issue 50 where the wedding's actually supposed to happen. Hopefully neither of them back out, or Joker doesn't kill Catwoman or anything like that, or kill Batman, I don't know. But just the writing has been so on point. In DC, in general, the writing for DC has been so on point. Of the two big events, Metal and Doomsday Clock, of the ones, I think I like Doomsday Clock more, but Metal has been really great too. In addition to that, I've been reading a lot more Marvel. I've changed Marvel up, right? I've been on a Marvel fix lately. I've been buying a lot of X-Men figures because I've been getting on an X-Men fix. I read the Dark Phoenix saga, right? And because of which I've been so inspired to get back into X-Men, because back in the day when I was a kid, right, Wolverine, the X-Men, they were some of my favorite superheroes or comic book characters next to Batman. I mean, Batman's always #1, but when I was a kid I was big into Marvel before I switched back to DC. And I kind of neglected the X-Men when I started trying to read Marvel in the past few years, in the past 10 or so years. I've been trying to focus on Captain America and Thor and stuff, which are fine, but oh bro, I'll get it to Captain America. So Captain America's Secret War or Secret Invasion, or what was it? It was Secret War, right? Where he's Hydra agent. The ending and the story was so bad that I just I'm done. But I kept on picking up X-Men Gold because X-Men Gold is solid. I like X-Men Gold. I've been picking up Weapon X, which has been good, and Wolverine's supposed to be coming back, the real Wolverine. I don't pick up X-Men Blue, but X-Men Red, I read the Phoenix Resurrection, and I'm picking up X-Men Red. The X-Men stuff has been really fun. I've been enjoying it, so I've been liking the X-Men. I bought a couple new X-Men figures, and it's been good stuff. Maybe I should do Tour of the Room a little bit later. So yeah, comics have been great. I mean, maybe if you guys want me to, only if you want me to. Ah, shoot. Thought I stepped on a splinter. If you guys want me to, maybe I can spend some time and go through my pull list and tell you what I think about each comic. But on a whole, comics have been great. I think Marvel doing their relaunch. I mean, Marvel has always, in the past few years, it really hasn't been good. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you're a DC fanboy, of course you're going to say that. But no, real talk, it really hasn't been that good. So, to see them rebooting again, or relaunch again, or renumbering again, it's just like, bro, how many times are you going to do it before you realize that's not the problem, right? You can revamp all you want, all new, all different, all the time, all everywhere, Marvel, nowish, and it doesn't change the fact that the writing's just shit. The concepts are just shit. But there are some gems, right? I think the X-Men has been good. I would like my personal favorite X-Men stuff to come back, but I mean, Jean Grey coming back is a step in the right direction. And for video games, like, I've been heavy on Pokemon lately. And I've been playing the shit out of my Switch with Celeste, Sonic Mania. I've gotten back into Splatoon, bro. Splatoon. I've been dipping so much hours into that. So yeah, and that's about all. I mean, I think that's enough time. 45 minutes of your time to catch up. So suggestions, right? Like, I'm gonna get back into doing videos. I don't know how I'm gonna do them. I don't know how I'm going to do things, but once a week I'm going to try to throw something up. Now we got the computer back, and now we have the time to do it. I'm going to try to do it. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Put it down there, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back with you guys. So this is Andrew saying peace out for now.